I'm super proud that I can represent this group, and I can only believe that we're a super good group in comparison to all the others, but my experience is that we actually are an amazing group, and I'm so proud to have shared the last 10 months with all of you guys. Yes, and well, I was preparing for the exams and writing my thesis and everything, and my aunt sent me a song, and it says, well, she said she thought about me when she heard it, and it says, "May I suggest to you that this is the best time of your life?" Well, I got a little bit grumpy, and I was like, well, I don't really want it to go all downhill from here. But then I did think about it, and I listened to the music, and all it's about is that you are in a time of your life where you have all the opportunities in front of you. You have all the adventures right now, and you experience great friendships. And I think that's what our year was all about. We didn't only make friendships with people, but also with 3 amazing cities. We started off in Istanbul, a city we now mainly see in the news, rattled by protests, and we really learned to love it. I think it was a great city to start off. Then we went to Nice. It rained a lot. But even with all those obstacles, you could just see the group coming together all the time. I mean, for instance, we had very bad internet. Well, no internet. Well, basically, that just made us all hang out in the hallway because there was the best connection, and we had great conversations there, and we sang to YouTube videos, so that was very nice. And then, of course, we were in Berlin, and well, we had great stress with all the exams and the thesis. But interestingly enough, 30 people in one house did not really get into a big war. I mean, we always chose cooperation, and I think that's very, very remarkable. And yeah, thank you for that. Despite everything, of course, and there's also a serious part to my speech. We had very interesting discussions, I think due to our backgrounds and everything. And one thing that struck me specifically was the argument of being poor. And I've heard this so much during the last 10 months, that people perceive themselves as poor. And of course, I don't know anything about your bank accounts. I don't know about your parents' salaries. I don't know about your debts or anything. But I can tell you one thing for sure. None of us is poor here. We're all incredibly rich. We're incredibly rich because of the opportunities given to us and because of the great people who stand behind us, or behind me. And these are exactly the people I want to thank. First of all, of course, Emre, you represent our baby slippers. There was also Melanie and Suzanne and Jean-Philippe and Matthias, who no matter what kind of problem we had, always tried to find a solution. I tried to find a hairdresser in Nice. Melanie totally did that. But there were more serious issues, I can tell. Then, of course, our professors. I would like to start with Mr. Tobias Bütow, who tried to teach us international relations on a more theoretical basis than what we were experiencing every day. He also taught us some poetry. Nevertheless, you will never let us forget the fact that a rose is a rose. It's a rose. Then, of course, Mr. Hartmut Maholt, who really has the gift to make everything super fascinating. Talking about European history, and, well, personally, I can never look at a refrigerator in the same way again. Because he taught us the revolution of this refrigerator and how it changed our world. So it was really mind-blowing. Then, of course, Mr. Lekin, who liked to have morning classes with us. He also liked to wake us up with some nice music. And when we still fell asleep, he even exercised with us to bring Then, of course, there's Laurent, who sort of babied us through our first phase in Istanbul, especially when we were all quite lost with our theses. He was very supportive and found, I think, just the right supervisor for every one of us. Also, he was our economy professor. And I think economics was sort of the module everybody was really scared about. Except for Peeps. But then Laurent really saw an economist in every one of us. So he really tried to break down complex matters so much that I think even you got confused. But no, you did a great job, and I think we do understand our world a lot better thanks to you. And then, of course, Matthias, who did striptease in class. I think this already gets to show you that even as the head of our institute, he was never distant, was always very approachable. And, well, I think Europe came a lot closer to us. Of course, if you look around you, there's also a lot of support there. I mean, our families, thank you to my family, were really in our backs, and I know there was a lot of calling home and crying, and I don't know. And I think that's just great that they were there in the distance. And I think we really can pat ourselves on the shoulders and thank ourselves for making this year to what it was. And yes, with this, I really think that we can join into Schiller's jubilation and celebrate. And now I would like to quote my dear friend Nico, "The real party starts."